So listen, I know a thing or two about fucking up your life. There was a time not so long ago where I was forced to live in the back of a 13-passenger van that I bought for like $1,200 off Craigslist because my fiance, she decided she just had enough of my shit and she kicked me to the curb. I was broke, I was alone, and I had zero clue what to do next. But one thing was absolutely crystal clear to me. I really needed to figure out how to unfuck my life. I'm gonna break down what I did to get out of that van, how I went on to make my first $1 million, and more importantly, how I fundamentally changed the trajectory of my life. So it all starts with radical accountability. The journey starts with a simple decision you have to make. You can either be the victim or you can be the hero, but you can't be both. So you'd better choose wisely. Now, most people unconsciously choose to be the victim of their story. They blame the world and everybody around them as the reason for why they aren't where they want to be. And you know what? In a lot of cases, these people are right. It's not their fault their lives are completely fucked up. A lot of people are born into a shitty situation and they've got the deck completely stacked against them from the very beginning. That sucks. It's not fair. And you're perfectly within your right to feel screwed over. But guess what? The universe doesn't care how you feel. It cares what you do. And the first thing you must do to unfuck your life is to accept full and complete responsibility for your situation, which isn't to say it's your fault. See, fault is past tense, and it results from the choices that have already been made, some of which might have been entirely outside of your control. Responsibility, on the other hand, is all about the present and the decisions you're making in this very moment to move your life forward. And this is important, guys, because here's the harsh truth. Nobody is coming to save you, which means you're gonna have to do it yourself. Accepting that it's your responsibility to go out and fight the dragon, regardless of where that dragon ultimately came from, is the first step in turning your life around. But this is just the beginning. Next, we've got to get crystal clear about where we're actually trying to go. And to do that, we need to disengage autopilot. See, most people are simply going through the motions. They're following the path that their parents or society laid out for them when they were just little kids, and like good little soldiers, they just keep marching forward one foot after another, never really stopping to wonder, is this what I really want? Now, I personally know this path really well because I walked it for the first 28 years of my life. But there was a problem because part of me deep down inside knew I didn't want the things that that path was leading towards. And so I never fully committed, never played all out, because at the end of the day, I was playing a game that I didn't even want to win. Only play games you want to win and you can win. Now, I got lucky. I stumbled into this strategy when a buddy came to me while I was living in that van and he suggested that we start a business. Up to that point, I was not even remotely entrepreneurial. I never had a lemonade stand, and I certainly wasn't the kid plucking flowers from the neighbor's yard and then selling it back to them. So when my buddy floated this idea to me, it was like discovering a whole new world, a whole new game. And it opened my eyes to another reality. That is, we get to pick which games we play. And not only that, but we're the ones making up the rules of the game. We get to decide what winning and losing looks like. Success, therefore, can literally look however you want it to look, but most people have just never stopped to define what winning and losing looks like to them, and instead they just move towards the goals society has told them they should want. If you want to unfuck your life, you've got to get clear on what an unfucked life even looks like. So in this step, we're gonna turn off the autopilot and we're gonna get clear about what it is we're actually aiming for. What's the target? Because as Lewis Carroll said, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. In particular, there are 3 areas of life we really need to figure out where we're going: our health, our wealth, and our relationships. For example, what does winning the health game look like to you? Is it hitting a certain weight or looking a particular way? Or is it just waking up every morning feeling energized and ready to tackle the day? When it comes to wealth, how much do you actually want and need? Now on this one, most people just pick a really big number, like I need $5 million to retire, and say, yeah, that sounds good. But usually this number isn't actually anchored to anything in reality. So instead of just picking a number out of the blue, the better method is to work backwards from your ideal life and then work out the math on how much you would actually need to sustain that lifestyle. Whenever I've done this exercise with people, they are almost always shocked to realize that they need far less than they initially thought. So here's your first bit of homework. Grab a notebook and spend a few hours brainstorming your perfect unfucked life. Write it down and get really clear on what it looks like. Now, once you know where you're actually trying to go, it's time to take action. And because I'm a fan of starting with the lowest hanging fruit, the first thing we're gonna do is also the easiest. We're gonna optimize your environment. The quickest way to change your life is by changing your environment. In particular, there are two types of environments you probably need to tweak: your physical environment and your social environment. Let's start by overhauling our physical environment. Now, I don't know about you, but I've always found a lot of truth in the phrase that a messy desk equals a messy mind. I've noticed over the years that the chaos of my surroundings has a strong implication for the chaos I feel within. So this might sound like a stupid, simple first step, but it's truly effective. To unfuck your life, start by cleaning your room. Seriously, I'm not joking. To this day, whenever I'm feeling stressed, anxious, or bordering on overwhelm, I just take a bit of time and I clean my office or my living space. Not only is this a simple way to reset my zen, but it's a really easy way to get a little bit of momentum, which I can use to snowball into the next activity. But listen, cleaning is only going to get you so far, because if you're anything like I was, the bigger problem is that your environment is almost like designed to intentionally fuck up your life. You've got the big screen television in your bedroom connected to the PS5 or Netflix. Your fridge is full of junk food and beer. Your gym is on the other side of town, and the workout equipment that you do have at home is currently being used to hang up laundry. If you want to move your life in the right direction, you have to start making it harder to make the easy choice than it is to make the hard choice. For instance, you could make it so hard to grab a beer that you just say screw it and drink water instead. You can make it so hard to watch Netflix that you decide just to read a book instead. You can make it so hard to spend money on Amazon that you decide just to make do without that thing and save the money. The thing is, most of us have optimized our environment so that the easy choices are even easier. And the problem with that is, as Jersey Gregorick pointed out, easy choices, hard life. Hard choices, easy life. So again, our goal in optimizing our environment is to design it so that making the hard decisions, the ones that are gonna move you towards your greatest selves, those decisions are easier to make than the easy decisions, which are usually just chasing cheap dopamine. Now, there's three spaces in particular worth optimizing in your home. You got your bedroom, the kitchen, and the workspace. Go through each of these rooms and ask, what is its primary purpose? If it's the bedroom, that's sleeping. The kitchen, eating. The workspace, working. Then optimize for that ideal outcome by removing everything that doesn't contribute towards that primary purpose. Get the television out of the bedroom, get the junk food out of the kitchen, and get anything not contributing to the work out of your workspace. Boom, you've now made it that much more likely that you're gonna actually use those spaces for what they're designed for. But this is the easy part. Now it's time for the hard bit. Listen, nobody said unfucking your life was gonna be easy, and this next part is probably gonna be the hardest of all. It's time to optimize your social environment. Now, I've said it 1,000 times, and you've heard it a million other times from everybody else out there, that you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. It's cliche, but there's a lot of truth here. If you hang out with unhealthy people who drink too much and have money problems, then you're probably going to become an unhealthy person who drinks too much and has money problems. The quickest way to turn your life around is to surround yourself with people who are where you want to be, doing the things that you want to do. Upgrading your network is the quickest and simplest cheat code for success that I found. But the reason most people won't do it is because it's really hard. After all, we're talking about your friends, and in many cases, your family, people that you love. Now, a very harsh reality that I had to come to terms with a few years back is that just because somebody loves you doesn't mean they have your best interest in mind. And hell, even if they do have your best interest in mind, they still might not be helping you on your journey of unfucking your life. As they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Now, I'm not saying you need to go and cut these people out of your life entirely, though in some cases, that's probably exactly what needs to happen, because I get it. You love your mom, and even though she often makes snide remarks that make you feel like shit about your life choices, you don't want to kick her to the curb. Well, fine. Maybe just dial back how often you hang out. Instead of getting together with your boys 3 nights a week, maybe only go out with them once every other week. Then use your newly freed up time to hang out with people who pull you in the direction of your best self. And again, I know this part is way easier said than done, but if you want to achieve greatness, you need to stop surrounding yourself with people who tolerate your mediocrity. This is, hands down, the quickest way I found to put your life on the fast track to unfucked. but good luck. All right, so now that we've optimized your external environment, it's time to change your internal environment. And to do this, you need to learn how to master your physiology. Confucius said it best: the healthy man wants 1,000 things, a sick man only wants one. It's so easy to take for granted the miracle that is your body. It is a marvel of evolutionary engineering that most of us don't really spend much time thinking about when things are going well. But as soon as something goes wrong and we're laid up with the sniffles or we snap a tendon playing pickleball, suddenly our broken body is all we care about. Now we're willing to do whatever it takes to get back to normal. We'll try experimental procedures. We'll pray to gods we don't even believe in if we think there's even a sliver of a chance it might help. But here's the sad truth you might not even realize. If your life is currently fucked, there is a very high probability your body is also fucked. Your idea of what it means to feel normal right now is probably wildly skewed. At least it was for me. See, I just took for granted that I should be sore and achy every morning when I wake up, that I needed that cup of coffee to jumpstart the system and clear the brain fog, that of course I'm a little sluggish in the afternoon after eating lunch, and that it's only natural for my energy levels to dip in the evening. The truth is, my body was in a constant state of distress, but since I was so used to the distress, I never questioned it, and therefore never thought to try and fix it. Okay, so if you want to unfuck your life, or at minimum just feel better in that beautiful body that you've been given, then there's 3 things you've got to get dialed in. I call these your 3 levers of energy. All right, first is nutrition. So full disclosure, I am a human garbage disposal, and I never really thought this was much of a problem because I've been an athlete my entire life and I consistently float between 6 and 10% body fat. But the most profound effects of nutrition, especially if you've got ADHD like me, they're usually completely invisible. This was proven to me a couple years back when my personal trainer had me cut 3 things out of my diet: gluten, sugar, and alcohol. Within 2 weeks, I shit you not, I felt like Bradley Cooper in Limitless. I could see music, I could taste sound. My mind was clear, focused, and razor sharp for the first time in maybe ever. It was like stepping out of a perpetual brain fog. It was insane. It turns out that there's a lot of research that suggests gluten in particular amplifies many of the symptoms of ADHD. Now, I hate saying this because it instantly turns me into that guy, but it turns out I am gluten intolerant. Seriously, just saying those words out loud causes a part of me to die a little, but it's true. Now, I'm not going to pretend that getting your nutrition dialed in is going to be easy, but it is 100% worth it. Here's 3 easy ways to get started. Number 1 is just stop drinking alcohol, period. It's poison, you don't need it, cut it out. Number 2, reduce your sugar intake. Again, this is way easier said than done because sugar is everywhere, but at minimum, cut out the blatantly overprocessed and overly sugary treats. And then 3, cut out inflammatory foods. I think inflammation is going to become the new health buzzword over the next decade as people start to become aware of just how impactful this is on their health. Some examples of foods known to cause inflammation are red meats, you got your dairy, refined grains, sweetened drinks, and fried food. If you can cut these out of your diet, I think you're going to notice a pretty stark improvement really quick. All right, so now the second lever of energy is sleep. If you're feeling tired, overwhelmed, easily stressed, distracted, unfocused, scattered at any point throughout your day, then there's a good chance you need to get your sleep sorted out. Because here's the truth. Most of us are chronically sleep deprived, which is a massive problem because there's a ton of research out there showing that sleep deprivation is linked to all sorts of chronic health problems such as heart disease, kidney disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, stroke, obesity, and depression. This is really serious stuff, guys, so do not take it lightly. I spent a ton of time and energy about 2 years ago getting my sleep dialed in, and here's the 3 things that I found to be the most helpful. 1, go to bed at the same time every single night. Number 2, make sure your bedroom is nice and crispy because humans sleep better in the cold. It's just how we are designed. And 3rd, make sure your bedroom is dark, like dark. For that, I wear a sleeping mask. Now, there's a lot more that you could do to optimize your sleep, but I'm not going to go into it here because that would take an entire video on its own. Let's get to our 3rd lever of energy, which is exercise. The human body, it kind of seems to defy physics in a few interesting ways. One such way is in how expending energy kind of acts as a catalyst for creating more energy. Like, have you ever noticed how energized and amazing you feel after a good workout? And yeah, sure, you could chalk that up to endorphins, but the truth is there's a lot going on inside your body after a hard workout. Things that generate better mental clarity, more energy, and feelings of happiness. Now, I don't know about you, but when my life was feeling especially fucked, Mental clarity, energy, and feelings of happiness were in short supply, which is why I encourage you, regardless of how dire things are in your life right now, prioritize exercising for at least 30 minutes every single day. Now, there are literally thousands of workout plans out there, but there's really no need to overcomplicate this. Your only goal at this point is to lift heavy stuff and get out of breath every single day. You do those things every day for 6 months and your life is going to look dramatically better. I guarantee it. Okay, now with all this said, absolutely none of what we've covered in this video so far is going to matter if you can't master this last step, which is to maintain positive inertia. If I had to choose just one reason why my life had reached top of Mount fucked, it's probably because I was really great at starting projects, but really bad at finishing them. And as a result, I wasted a ton of time and energy just spinning my wheels in the mud. And because it was taking so long for those wheels to find traction, I'd eventually get bored or disheartened, or I'd get excited about some new, even better idea, and then I'd jump ship only to discover the same exact problem. I did this for years, and at the end of it all, I really had nothing to show for all my efforts besides a whole lot of frustration and disappointment. I was, as it turns out, a really good goal setter, but a terrible goal getter. Now, it took me a really long time to figure this out, and I had to pay the tuition at the School of Hard Knocks out of my own pocket. So listen up, because what I'm about to share with you cost me a whole lot of heartache that you don't need to learn the hard way if you just pay attention. So here it is. If you want to unfuck your life, you need to learn how to transform motivation into momentum, which you then sustain through discipline long enough to start seeing results. The key ingredient here to unfucking your life is discipline. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Developing self-discipline is easily the hardest thing I've ever had to do. But you cannot win the war for your greatness if you don't first win this battle. So the next step on your journey is to click the link that's going to pop up here on the screen somewhere. And that's going to take you to a video called Learning This About Discipline Changed My Life. In that video, I walk you through a 6-step process for developing self-discipline. And then I share a framework for overcoming procrastination on demand, so you never have to struggle to turn motivation into momentum. Now, go check that video out. And until next time, stay hyper-focused, my friends.